What's up everybody, this is Vanquish X and today I'll be bringing you guys another Injustice 2 breakdown, this time for Firestorm. The Nuclear Man is in Injustice 2 and he looks great. They've done such a good job of bringing him into this game. His moveset looks awesome, his special move is amazing, his costume looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing what to do with the character in the game. So just like I did for the other breakdowns, I'm going to talk about his costume. I would talk about his story point, but in this trailer there's absolutely nothing. So this time I'm just going to skip it because there's no point in me trying to find something that isn't there. Then I'll talk about his moveset, his special move, and of course give you guys my overall opinion of the character being added to the game. So firstly, let's talk about his costume, which I think is a great look. I think it's such a cool looking costume. They've taken things from Firestorm throughout all the years of comics, TV shows, animated stuff, and just mixed it into a great looking costume. I really like the look of it, and the colours they've used are like the burgundy kind of red and the black, and how they merged them together, and the little patterns they've used that look like little octagons that make the red part stand out, and the costume makes him look like he is just pure energy with the yellow lights and the effects that are going through it, like the energy readouts on his gauntlets, the yellow lights on his shoulder pads, and the light up part of his head just make it look like the suit is just made to contain him and keep these two bodies together as one and stop him imploding in a massive fiery fireball. And I just really like the look of that, and it looks like it's just made to keep him together. And I like the way they've updated his logo as well, kind of make it work with his suit, and it also works with the kind of containment look as well on the yellow lights. Overall, I really like the suit. The only problem I have with it is the headpiece. I think it looks too big for his head. It looks like he's wearing a big bobblehead thing there. The partners on his forehead looks too big for him, but that's kind of the only real complaint I have. I think this suit is great. I'm looking forward to seeing what the gear does and what gear you can unlock and how it changes the costume, the colours, the headpieces, how he looks, just everything about it. I just like the suit. I think it's a great touch, so I'm just going to skip his story point now because there's nothing really there. It's just Green Arrow asking him if Batman has sat him down and had the talk yet. I talk about whatever that is. So I'm just going to move on to his moveset now, which I think is awesome. I think it's one of the best ones in the game. It's just such a cool, inventive way to use him and show how much control he has of fire and how he can change the matter of things and use his abilities in pretty cool ways and to his advantage. So let's start with just the basics of he has, like pushbacks, knockups, knockdowns, and just general basic attacks. So firstly, there's a jump attack that looks like an anti-air move where Firestorm jumps in the air and blasts his opponent in the face with fire, knocking him away from him. And I think this could be used as a combo starter where you'll jump, hit him with that, and when you land on the ground before they do, you can knock them back up and keep a combo going. So I think it's a cool way to start a combo. Next is a charged pushback that knocks him across the stage, and he has two versions of this. He has a normal one, which you can see now, which just charges a punch and punches Green Arrow away from him, and a much powerful version which you can mix into a stage transition, which you see here with Catwoman, which she seems to charge it up a lot more and just whacks her towards the wall, which she then goes through the walls of the Batcave into a stage transition. I like the way that they're giving you two of the same move really, but one's just more powerful and can help you lead it into more stuff. He has a quick knockdown move that smacks the opponent into the ground, and that also does varying damage by the look of things because there's a two-handed one and a one-handed move. He double hands Catwoman here and just absolutely smacks her off the ground, so that seems like to be the more damaging one because he takes a longer time to charge it. And then there's a one-handed slap down to Green Lantern here, which just kind of hits him off the ground really quickly. So again, two of the same move that do varying damage by the look of things. I like the way they're taking this kind of character, mixing around these moves even though they're the same thing, but they do double the damage depending on which one you use. Next there's a kind of a knock-up move where he hits the ground and fire just comes out and knocks him into the air. It's kind of like a fire spear or a column really, just to knock them up in the air a bit. I like that kind of knock-up there. He also has a similar move to that one where fire pops up underneath them and hits them into the air like before, but then there's an added hit where he creates an atom looking fireball and it just knocks them up even further and will cause a lot more damage. And lastly there's a pushback move where Firestorm creates a circle of fire around himself and like pulses out and pushes his opponent away. Again, it'll probably just be to control the fight a little bit and stop them getting the over you, stop getting the advantage over you, where you can like knock them back, get your bearings and deal with what you're going to do next. Next up, he has a bunch of cool moves that uses fire abilities in a lot of inventive ways. So firstly, he has a burst fire move here where he shoots fireballs into the ground 3 times and each hit knocks an opponent back even further. He has a long range fireball here where he just launches fire from one side of the stage to the other and smacks his opponent in the face. He has a move where he sticks his opponents to the ground. He kind of just puts magma around their feet to melt them in place, and then he just hits the ground with a big fire blast and just roasts them alive. It's such a cool looking move and shows how powerful he is and how much damage you can do with this kind of fire energy he has. Of course, he has a movement ability like every other character, so his one is that he melts into the floor, kind of shows off his matter manipulation, how much he can change the matter and structure of things. So he just melts himself into the ground, travels through it, pops up underneath his enemies enemy and flings them into the air. Of course, you could probably just use this to move around the stage as well to get behind them, or just mess around with them a little bit and confuse them. So that's quite a cool movement ability he has. And lastly, he has a power-up state, which is probably the little meter at the bottom on the screen that every character has. But his one, he basically turns into Deathstorm. Just gets blue, heated flames, and just probably ups the damage of many of his moves by the looks of things. For example, when you stick to the floor move, where he just sticks them to the floor by their feet with fire and kind of melts them, that just deals a lot more damage. It seems to be meter burned as well, because the white lines go around him, and he just deals a ton more damage. And this Deathstorm state also introduces a spin and heal kick. I'm saying introduce because it didn't show it without being blue flames, but he just does a forward flip and absolutely smashes them into the ground with his heel. It looks so painful. And he also has a fireball shot like before, but this time it's up close and just absolutely launches the opponent away in a blaze of fire. So it's quite a cool one to see, and it's just upping the damage of that move. And lastly, it gives him a flying move where he flies towards the enemy and just knocks them back. So yeah, that's his moveset, guys. I really like it. I think it's quite an inventive and cool way to use his fire abilities, his matter manipulation of objects, and I just can't wait to play this guy now to try out his moveset because it just looks really fun. So now let's talk about his super move. I love this super move. I think it's one of the best ones in the game so far. It's just visually striking, colourful, suits the character really well. The kind of the fire abilities, the big atom fireball looking things, just melting his opponents with fire. I think it's one of the best ones yet, and totally makes up for the Dr. Fate one, which was kind of lackluster, but this one is just insane. So I'm going to break this down for you guys in case you missed anything. So first up, he just sets his opponent straight on fire and leaves them there burning alive, and then he flies past them and brings them into a kind of volcano looking fire dimension, which you most likely use the Firestorm Matrix to do that, or maybe they're inside the Firestorm Matrix, something like that. And then he hits them with fireballs, I think there's two there, and melts himself into the floor again, travels from the ground, launches his opponent into the air when he reappears out of the ground, and then he creates two massive atom-like fireballs, which are just really cool looking, mashes them into the green arrow, causing a massive explosion that then finishes off the match. So that move is so cool. That super move is so out there and just so bright and colourful and visually stunning. It's really cool. I'm going to gush over that super move because they've just done such a good job of that one. I can't wait to try that out. And there you have it, guys. That's Firestorm. I think he looks great. His costume looks good. I'm looking forward to seeing what the gear does and what it changes. His moveset is awesome, how they're mixing his fire abilities with the matter manipulation and his super move, which I'm going to talk about some more because holy crap, I love that thing. It's just so cool looking. And I think I'm going to leave this breakdown here, guys. So if you like the video, rock out on that like button. Leave a comment down below and tell me your thoughts on Firestorm coming into the game. Do you like him? Think someone else should have been in it or revealed so far? If you like his costume, his moveset, his super move, just whatever you want to talk about Firestorm, leave that down below. And also don't forget to subscribe, as it does really help me out, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and for your support. I love you guys, and stay tuned for the next one.